The number one thing you have to do is read 30 minutes a day. And I'm not talking about what comes to your phone. I'm not talking about clickbait. I mean a book. I mean something that you pursue. Great ideas are never going to interrupt you.
Why do we choose the temporary backwash over the long-term fulfillment? But who am I to talk? After all, your brain is likely wired in a very similar way mine is. It's persistent, demanding, and utterly bent on temporary pleasure. But don't blame your brain, because just like there's a few of you out there who have those crazy uncles that still think cassette tapes are the way of the future, your brain is a little bit behind the times. You see, for a few thousand years, survival wasn't exactly, guaranteed. So because, congestive heart failure and diabetes weren't on the top of our threat list, the idea of consuming an entire plate full of sugar, honestly, we wouldn't have thought twice about that. For all you know, there's a little snake in the grass that'll happily defend his territory. So be happy while you can, right? Now some of you are getting a little too excited about this. I can hear it now. Ha! See? I can't help it. Ooh, but see, that's where I'm gonna have to disagree with you, because your brain has this awesome ability called neuroplasticity. And what that means is that your brain can change, it can mold, it can grow, and hopefully not, it can shrink. In fact, you can teach an old dog new tricks, because no matter what your age is, your brain never loses this ability. So my brain, your brain, his brain, are all doing this, usually without us even realizing it. So what kind of effect do you think it's gonna have on your brain if you, scroll TikTok 5 minutes after waking up, or watch funny cat videos online for hours on end, or see that friend on, social media who has the perfect life, which makes you feel like your life is basically terrible? Yep, you guessed it. Your brain doesn't really change and mold in very desirable ways. In fact, it's kind of a double blow, because indulging in this unhealthy short-term artificial gratification, it wires your brain to want it even more. So not only is it unhealthy in the moment, but it's curbing your desires to seek that out even more. The good news is that it's completely possible for us to teach our brain to respond as though we're not in the Stone Age, because we're not. And this is where neuroplasticity really shines, because each time you choose to avoid short-term unhealthy gratification, the key word there is unhealthy. Please don't interpret what I'm saying to be that you shouldn't enjoy things. I think you know the difference. But every time you trade in short-term unhealthy gratification for long-term fulfillment, your brain notices. And as you slowly trade more and more, it becomes a habit, and then it becomes a lifestyle. And since what you take in is often what you communicate back out, this one little behavior change will not only affect your achievement and growth, but it'll also affect how you interact with others and your relationships. Because as you continue to grow, now you'll be able to add even more value to the people around you. Now maybe you've tried this in the past and you couldn't figure out where to get started, or it just didn't end up being fulfilling. And if that's the case, I would encourage you to watch the video in the dead center of the screen here. I used to make a lot of very similar mistakes when it comes to fulfillment and finding my passion and things like that. And this video discusses a lot of that and will help kickstart you in the right direction.